Hey up, right, back filming another video on the GS500. Right, what have we got? So this video is all about the rear suspension and the forks. So last week I fitted a Suzuki SV650 rear shock, which has been excellent. It's lifted the bike. If you don't already know, when you fit that shock, it's too long. Even when you re-drill the bottom mounting in the shock, it's still too long. So if you can see there, if you look at my previous videos, the back end is like maybe 2 inch higher. Quite a big increase in the ride height. But for me, on this bike, my body weight has been a massive improvement. So I weigh like 90 kilos. And if I mentioned years ago when I modified the bike, basically when I changed the frame, when I modified all the frame, I actually gave the back end a less clearance for wheel travel up and down. And the first day I rode it, the wheel came up and smashed the back end and destroyed it. So I had to cut the back end off, re-weld it, and then I did a 3D printed back end. And then on the shock, to stop it coming back up and smashing the back end when you go over a big bump, and plus I weigh 90 kilos, I fitted an additional bump stop. Which you can't see where my thumb is, at a bit of rubber there. Oh my god, why has it gone like that? No, that's homemade bump stop. I think I did 2. Must have done. Yeah, I did 2. I need to put some gloves on. So that the bike did not bottom out. And then what I've done there is I've sacrificed, what's that, 20mm of travel on the rear shock. Plus this is original, 1996. So for me, I think I've always moaned about the bike to other people, maybe on some of my videos, that it's a rough ride. It's bangy and bouncy, and I've moaned about the seat. So this seat is way more comfortable than that seat. This is a genuine Suzuki seat, and that's Chinese seat, so different foam materials, I presume. But anyway, I've always moaned about it. So I fit the other shock, more ride height. I think it's rusty as hell, but it's slightly newer. It works. So the bike is, I've got working rear suspension now, and even with that rubbish seat, it's so much better, so much more comfortable. Big improvements. So I'm really chuffed with that, and I quite like the ride height. I'm happy with the height of the bike. I'm not gonna lower it down. You can get the multi-link rear shock. You can get longer links or shorter links to lower it back down. But for me, I think it looks good being sort of jacked up. So because the rear end suspension's so good, I wanted to fix the front end, which I've always moaned about. Just front end crashing about, bangy, go over bumps, and you're just getting shook to pieces. So I've taken off the rubber gaiters, they're called. The chrome underneath is in really good condition. These, which I've just chucked on the floor down here, these were very, very tight fit on the stanchion, almost to the point where they're adding resistance, which I don't think it's a massive deal, but they were just too tight. They're always too tight on there. They should be a little bit baggy, only a little bit baggy, but a little bit baggy. So bin that off, not putting them back on. I'm going to 3D print like a guard that some bikes have that'll come up 1 inch or 2 just to protect from stone chips. So I'm going to do that. So that's gone, and we're moving on to the main point of the video, We have some new fork oil. We have seals and bushes. And most importantly, new springs. So according to some reading on the internet, the standard springs in this bike are super soft. They're meant for a lightweight rider. They're super soft from factory. Plus mine's, what is it, bloody 29 years old, whatever, I can't do maths. These are much stiffer. Well, I'm told they're a lot stiffer. I'm told it'll be a noticeable difference. So, new springs, bushes, seals, oil to the correct amount of oil. And those forks should be as good as they can ever be for an ultra fork. And I'm also thinking of this top, you've got your triple trees, oh, if that's the right word. This top piece is sort of rubber mounted. So the actual top of the stanchion, I'm going to drop it, what's that, 15, 20 mil. I'm going to drop the stanchion down so it's level with the top of this yoke. I think it's called a yoke. Just to bring the front end up a little bit, and then it kind of matches the back end being raised, the front end being raised. Hopefully, I don't think it'll do too much to geometry at bike. It'll still ride like an old bike. It's not gonna. I wouldn't like to do it with this. I think moving the forks 20 mil would have a big effect on this bike. Not on this bike. What else is there? What's this 7-minute rant? I've also got an extender for the mirror because I can't see behind my own arm. So that's going to extend it out an inch to the side. So that should hopefully help a little bit. Some bar ends. And I bought those along with some, oops, a daisy. Heated grips. Heated grips, because I'm going to start riding to work and I've got a new job and it's a bit of a longer ride. So heated grips with bar ends, because I'm fed up of these. These are quite short. Probably no shorter than what I've just bought. But this end bit here fucking digs into your hand. So yeah, get rid of those. Yeah, so a bit of investment going into Suzuki, into red Suzuki, let's call it. Get it riding nice, have another good year with it. And then this has broken. Did a track day on it, absolutely amazing. Went to Cadwell Park, absolutely amazing. Blown away how much fun it was. Such an adrenaline rush. Bike did perfect. Never missed a beat. It was just flat out all day. Well, on straights anyway. Maybe not steady on corners, but on straights, flat out. And then brought it home, put it in garage. 10 weeks later, it won't start. Sat for 10 weeks and now it won't start. So, fuel issue, spark plug issue, don't know. This bike, another rear shock, second shock I bought, fingers crossed that works. I'll talk about this bike another day, I can't be arsed with it today. So the plan for now is get this over there, pull Suzuki out. I've got some stands, put it on stands, get these forks off, strip them down. I'm not going to film that much, I'm just going to do little updates as I go along. So let's crack on. So the bike's up on the stands. Better look at the SV650 shock there, and underneath there you can see where you've got to come on, camera focus. No, you've got to re-drill it. That's the original hole, and then that's the hole you put in. There's loads of instructions on internet where, how and why to re-drill it. Some people actually cut this off and make it all nice and neat. I've just botched it. But anyway, that's on. You can see now the ride height there. Well, if you look at one of the videos I've done where I'm sat on it, and it's like just sat on its ass. Front end sticking up, back end down its ass. So it's a lot better now. I like it a lot more now. I was thinking of like getting rid and getting another bike, but if I can make this better, I'll just keep this for another year or so. That's my plan. So when you fit that shock, the stand is almost too short. It's fine for me, but some of you might. It leans over quite a lot. So bear that in mind. And the centre stand does not work. Now I don't have the centre stand on. I only put the centre stand on when it's in the garage. When I'm out riding, it gets chucked on the shelf. So I've got to put a piece of wood under the centre stand to get it to even work. But luckily I've got these, which are great. I would definitely suggest get your own set of those. Good investment. And this one, it fastens under bottom at yoke steering. What the hell's it called? I've forgotten. Comes with different adapters, so this will fit onto like most bikes, and you can adjust the height, which is really cool. Right, enough chat. Front wheel off, forks off. I did this a week ago to get the gaiters off, and I know that one of these is seized. Stainless steel bolt in aluminium, and I think that's a bit of a no-no because they react and they stick together. So one of these is fucked up, so I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be a twat to fix that, but anyway, I'll fix it. Front wheel off, forks out. Take it from there. There we go. Yeah, forks off. I made a right mess. The oil always goes everywhere, all over the floor, and I managed to catch most of it, but flipping heck. What a mess. So yeah, the strip down. All is well. The oil, the oil was just dark grey muck. So I don't know why it goes grey. I'm guessing it's full of, I don't know, it's just old oil. So yeah, definitely worth changing the oil because it was clearly old and worn out oil. So these are all sort of just draining, well, so not soaking. I've cleaned them. Whatever's left on them is going to hopefully soak into the rag. I was hoping to quickly just sort of like clean it, rebuild it, boom, job done. But I've got a broken bolt in the bottom of there, which is somehow bent and seized. So I need to get that out. And these, this is the paint is this Plastidip. This stuff, which it's good and bad. I mean, that's lasted. Is it 2 years since ago? 2-3 years? Anyway, I lost track. It's done its job, but GT85 melts it. Brake carb cleaner melts it. So that there is a bit of carb cleaner just melted it off, which it's meant to come off, isn't it? So I can't really moan at that. But what I might do is I'm going to get them shot blasted and just paint them matte black, prime it, paint it matte black, and I've done. And I was thinking of painting the tank with Plastidip so that it comes off on picture as a temporary paint. I might do it like black or grey. Anyway, we'll see. So yeah, I'm going to come back to this in a nutshell. This will be one video, but it'll be over probably a week to do all this messing about. So finish cleaning that, shot blast, paint, rebuild with a new spring, and new oil, new seals. Just to, in case I did a bad job explaining it, I think the bike has been not very nice to ride because the spring's too soft. So basically, whenever you touch the brake, it bottoms out. Whenever it goes over a bump, it bottoms out. So hopefully, a stronger spring and fresh oil will just give the bike a bit of a better ride. That's the idea. So fingers crossed that's right. I've still got a bit more time at garage. I'm probably going to make a start off. I'll fit the extension for that, and I'll make a start on the grips. So I'll check in with you in the next clip, which might be in a couple of days' time. So it's a couple of days later. I got the fork legs shot blasted, and they've had 3 coats of primer, 3 coats of matte black. Looking good, no runs, which is what we want. The bike, the heated grips are on. The cabling just needs tidying up. This is going to sit, the actual switch, there's a little bracket, so it's just going to sit on there with a bracket. All the cabling's down the back of there, neat-ish. This is a right mess, is this. It's a mess. Everything works, the heated grips work, the lights work, it's just a total mess. Once you put the light back in, you can't see it. I wish it was all nice and neat, but there's just too many connectors, too many wires. Maybe I could redo it, but not in a rush to do that really. So I'm just going to give these a wipe down. They're mostly clean now. Give them a wipe down. Get the fork legs, put them in the vise without scratching them, and rebuild the forks. And then set the oil height, no, the air gap, and then we're off. So back in a minute. Right, done. That was a nightmare, to be honest with you. All put together, feels good. Set the oil air gap 125mm as recommended. I've used this 10 weight fork oil. Yeah, didn't quite go to plan. I had the top bush that goes in there, well, it got stuck. God knows why, maybe a bit of muck in there. So that went wrong. And then the new seal kit, which is from these guys. It's, what is it? It's the right seal, but it's too tall. So does that mean it's not the right seal? Difficult to see, but it's like an extra 2mm taller. So the old seal, come on camera, no, just a double lip seal. It's got a spring on the inside, on the back. This has got a spring on the back and the front. And that spring there on the front fouls with the retaining clip there. So for this one, fork leg number 2, I'm thinking of reusing the old seal, which is a bit annoying, but it were such a pain getting that on, and I might have even damaged it. So it'd be typical that leaks. Anyway, so I'm gonna crack on. It's late and it's not going to plan tonight, so get this built. First job is change the bottom bush. That's an old one. Change the bottom bush, give that a clean. You've got your dampening rod. Your spring goes over there. That bolt's inside there, like that. And then you've got your bolt and your copper washer. goes through the top of there into there. Another issue is that this can spin when you try and tighten up that bolt. So you're meant to have a special tool that fits in there. I just got this long 3/8 extension bar with a socket on the end, and I jammed the socket into that diameter like that, and that gave me just enough bite. Yeah, so my phone cut off then. Never mind. Ran out of memory. So the forks are rebuilt. Bit of a nightmare with one of them. The seals and bushes that I bought, I think were wrong. Even though they were for this bike, they weren't quite right. So I've had to say one fork, it's got new seals and bushes that seem to fit okay, and the other fork, it's got the old seals and bushes, which not what I wanted. But anyway, I should have bought genuine Suzuki bushes and seals, it seems. Anyway, the forks are in. Really now it should be plain sailing. Front wheel back in, mudguard back on, brakes on, speedo back on, tidy the wiring up, put all the light back on. I'm going to put the fairing on, whatever you call that. Put that back on. Tied up the wires, tank back on, seat back on. I'm just going to tighten the chain because it's a little bit loose since I changed the sprocket. And then it's done. So we'll just quickly blitz all that off, and then it's ready to have some fun on. There we go, looking good. So I pulled the back wheel off, decided to put some more tyre rating on, tightened the chain a little bit. I've changed the front sprocket back to the normal size, so it's now got normal size chain and sprockets. Done that because with a smaller front sprocket, one tooth down on the front, I felt like it just sort of run out of that top end speed, the top end cruise. Sacrificed a little bit too much, so it's back to stock. Gave the wheel a good clean whilst it was off, but yeah, we're done. So all the cables are relatively neat. You can see there where I've dropped the forks down just to pick the front end up a little bit. But yeah, that's looking nice and neat, and grips are on, extensions on, throttle's working good. Yeah. Put light back in. Boom. Right, well thanks for joining me on these little videos. Coming soon, I've got new jets for the cab, new jets for the carburetors, and I'm changing the air filters to these little K&N style pod air filters. They're on the way from China. So rejet it, carbs on it, see if it's any faster. But yeah, right, see you in the next one.